Yo, what up everybody? It's Peace-Eye. Welcome to another video. Back at it again with another second place deck profile. I went to Gaming Goat in Tinley and I got second place out of 28 players. It was the day of the UDS, so there weren't like the top players, but still 28 is a good turnout, and I managed to go 3 wins, 1 draw, 0 losses. So I wanted to share this with you guys, and then after the deck profile, I'll share the tournament report. This is not my normal deck. As you guys know, maybe already, I've been with Orcust for a long time. I started with like Danger Altergeist Orcust, and then I moved on to more of a pure build. But I went to a tournament yesterday morning, and I brought my Orcust hand trap deck, and I got completely murdered. Like I faced a bunch of Sky Striker, and it doesn't do well against decks that don't summon a bunch of monsters, because I mean you just like your hands are full of hand traps. But I had all the cards for Sky Striker basically, so I threw them all together really quick before my team went over to Tinley, the Gaming Goat, and I just tried it. So this is my first time playing this deck in a tournament. I have borrowed Jake's deck for friendlies, but this is my first time actually trying to compete with the deck, and honestly, it carried me. And this can be so much better, but I just wanted to show you my initial list. I got this list, I based it off of an MCO 40 list that I saw online running Demise. So let me just get into some of the theory with you guys. This deck will change, but I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of flavor of what I played yesterday.
All right, let's get into it.
All right, so first, you run 3 monsters and only 3 Sky Striker, Ace Ray. You are running Demise, so you will discard your hand traps at the end of the turn, so you just don't run them. 3 engage, this is necessary because, I mean, this is the whole reason why this deck is good. It's Pot of Greed. You feel so good adding this to your hand off of the field spell. So good. I only own 2 Widow Anchor, but this deck carries me, so I just played 2 Widow Anchor, and it was enough. The 2 Shark Cannon, I mean, that's obvious. So 3 Field Spell. A lot of people are playing 2, including the deck that I copied off of, but I was missing, I forgot which card, but I might remember it later. But I ended up just running 3 of the Field Spell because, I mean, like, the Field Spell's broken, and it gets Ray when it's popped. The 1 multi-roll, since it's at 1, it's broken, it recurs all your stuff. The 1 Hornet Drones, if your monster gets popped, and you don't have access to Ray, this can give you a monster to go back into your Sky Striker, or you can use it as link material. The 1 burners for popping stuff, as well as the jamming waves for popping stuff. The 1 Eagle Booster to protect, and then finally your recycling Hercules base. So those are all the Sky Striker cards. So next up, I've got my Terraforming to search my field spells, the Rhoda to search my Ray, the Metalfoes Fusion to just add more cards to my graveyard and draw cards. This just adds a lot of advantage. This is a really nice tech that people play, and I really liked it. Fool's Burial Goods. This is to send either the Fusion or something else if you have a way to get into Kagari to add back. Like, you can like add off of multi-roll. Like, this has like a lot of utility. A lot of people play this at 2, but I opted for 1. This is another interesting part of the deck. Triple Mystic Mine in the main. This doesn't do very well against the Sky Striker Mirror, but everything else you just auto-win. And it's mindless, and I'll tell you about my matchups later. Next, Card of Demise. Ripping this off the top when you lost all your advantage feels so good. You draw 3 cards, and you can't special summon. So if you draw your Ray, you normal summon it, and then Ray lets you special summon on your opponent's turn anyway. Oh my god, it is so busted. So it was cute. This is not going to be my build going forward. I'm going to take this out. I missed having hand traps in here. But yeah, it's funny. If you have Demise, try this. It's hilarious. 2 MST. The list that I copied was playing Cosmic Cyclone, and actually the UDS winner, one of the UDS top 4, I believe he got 2nd or 3rd, was playing Cosmic Cyclone. I think I will go with Cosmic Cyclone, like the list I copied off of, and that list. My theory was that I would want to pop my own field spell, or one of my own cards to get more spells in grave, but you can chain Cosmic Cyclone to your opponent's engage when they activate it to banish it instead of it going to the graveyard. So I'm kind of a Dukas, but I think I might go with Cosmic Cyclone. I mean, who cares about the 1,000 life points if I get to remove their advantage? Also, Dingirsu, since Orcust is technically still a thing somehow, I don't see how people do it. They're just better than me. You can, Ding won't be able to protect the Babble or the Crescendo. Well, they'll just chain Crescendo, but they won't be able to protect their Babble with Ding because you're banishing it and not destroying it with MST. Final spell of the deck was Galaxy Cyclone. They had this in there in the deck profile that I copied, and I already knew right away why they were playing it. So if you can get this in grave early on against a matchup that runs a Floodgate like Imperial Order or Secret Village of the Spellcasters, what you can do in grave is banish this, target the face-up card, and destroy it. Not a lot of things can negate the effect that you get when you banish it from your graveyard. So if you can get this in graveyard as fast as possible and just banish it, you can pop that Floodgate. And even if it's not that Floodgate, you can pop other stuff with it. Any face-up spell and trap, that's its graveyard effect. You can, as long as you didn't send it to the grave that turn or whatever. So that's pretty cool. And then finally, the traps. I ran 9. So triple infinite impermanence. This is the only hand trap because you can set it. You're running Demise. This is not correct. You need to be playing Ghost Ogres, maybe Veilers, maybe Ashes, but like definitely Ghost Ogre and Infinite Impermanence are the best ones this format, I think. So Infinite Impermanence. Triple, there can be only one. This in the Sky Striker mirror is degenerate, but I mean I had to do it. I didn't know I'd be facing that much Sky Mirror, but it ended up happening, and yeah, so this card, you know what it does. And then finally, Triple Judgment. You don't want to lose to Evenly, and you're playing card of Demise, so you need to be able to protect your board at all costs, because your board's on the field 33% of the time. Because 33% of the time, you're going to be opening with your thing that draws 3 cards. Card of Demise. Brain fart. But yeah, the main deck is 41. I couldn't cut it down to 40, but in the future I will, because 40 is correct in this type of deck. Alright, next up is Extra Deck, the 1 token. This is for the package that I play in the side deck. It's the Utopia double shenanigans. Dingirsu for if I steal a Galatea with Widow Anchor or reborn a Galatea with Shark Cannon. Thank you, Brian. Cameraman. Alright, so Sky Striker Link monsters. We got the 3 Hayate. This attacks directly and dumps. 3 Shizuku. This adds at end phase of the turn it is summoned. The 1 Kagari, because it's at 1. This card's broken. And then finally, the 1 Kaina. My friend says to play 2. And winning deck profiles say to play 2, so I'm probably going to play 2. And maybe cut the Ding. I don't know. I'll have to think about that later. But this whole deck is changing. Then a small Nightmare package. You always got to run your Phoenix and your Unicorn. This spins into deck, which dodges certain types of removal or protection. And then this is just for the generic back row stuff. I played this. The deck I copied wasn't playing this, but like I wanted to play this because like I see it in a lot of builds and it's cute. Like when it blows up, you can special summon your Kagari back and add back a spell. And then also if one of your Link monsters that's 3 or lower gets destroyed, you can banish this card and then pop a card your opponent controls. So it's nice to link up to. It's a generic Link 4 that only takes 2 plus effect monsters, so it's easy to link up into, and it allows you to use your Sky Striker spells because your main monster zone is not taken up. So I really like this card. It's just a spicy tech, I guess. Topologic Bomber, that's kind of standard for this deck I see in a lot of builds. I didn't really like use it that much, but I mean, I guess I was not playing the deck right, or I didn't face anything that required me to blow up my opponent's field several times. And then finally, Boral Sword. No explanation needed for that. Finally, side deck. So Super Poly, I guess, for decks, it's like having extra copies of Raw Sphere mode, the Utopia double or whatever. Then I've got the double Raw Sphere mode. This is funny. I was playing 2 Imperial Iron Wall because my thoughts were if I get into a grind game, I can, with a slower deck, I can put in Imperial Order and then, or Imperial Iron Wall, and then I won't have my Sky Striker spells banished off of multi-roll. They'll just go to grave since they have nowhere else to go. But I never brought this in because I never faced an Orcust build or a Thunder Dragon build during this tournament. So those never came in, but that was the theory behind it. I might cut that and change it to something else. But I mean, in testing, if I can get this with multi-roll on the field, that's just infinite advantage, like infinite advantage. Next up, this is kind of out of order, but double or nothing, that goes with the Utopia double and the Utopia in the main deck, because you can get your 2 Rays on board, I guess, theoretically. Triple Super Poly, this is your 3rd, 4th, and 5th copy of Raw Sphere Mode. It kind of eats boards so that you can play the game, because the multi-negate boards are a problem. Those are still very much alive and running around, like Pendulum Magician and Thunder Dragon. Finally, for the last monsters, 2 Pankratops. I managed to open this up against my round 1 opponent, Team Bad Cards representative Tony. Unfortunately, his Imperial Order died very quickly to my Pankratops, because lucky top decks. Alright, and then finally, triple evenly matched. I might consider making this a going second striker, because going second is so much better, because it's like True Draco in a sense that you can eat boards with it. The Sky Striker cards do a lot more when you're actually going second with them, is what I noticed during this tournament. Even when I was planning on going first, it just goes second. Anyway, quickly matchups. Round 1 was Tony. He was playing True Draco. He had his floodgates and whatever, but Sky just overpowered him. I think I got that 2-0. Next up was some guy I didn't know. He was playing For Hires. My friends say that it was just like a buy because it's For Hires, but For Hires do some stuff. I did a lot of reading that match, and their Link Monster, that thing is broken, and he was drawing 3 cards for free. That deck is no joke if you build it right, so don't sleep on For Hires. Round 3 was against Ricardo from, I usually see him at Grapple Games in New Lenox, but he was at Tinley yesterday, and he was playing Sky Striker, so that was my Sky Striker mirror. Mystic Mine is OP. We ended up drawing in Game 2, and we just took the draw and moved on to the final round. So at this point, I'm 2 wins, 1 draw, and I lose the die roll, and my opponent tells me to go first. And I was like, oh god, what is this? My teammate Jose has prepared me for Crusadia shenanigans, but I had honestly no idea what was coming. I build my Sky Striker board or whatever, and then he goes into Cyber Dragon things, and I'm like, oh god. I managed to stop him and negate most of his things and finally get Mystic Mine on the field. He ended up just scooping. And then Game 2, he made me go first again, and I'm like, oh man, it's so stressful going first when you're not the one choosing to go first. But I ended up overpowering him in that game as well. Widow Anchor, Shark Cannon, those are all so powerful. Being able to negate your opponent's fusion monster that pops all your back row, because I knew it was coming. You just save your negate for that, and then really they can't do much. You just defend your life points as well as you can with negating their things with Judgment, trying to activate your Mystic Mine, or just using Shark Cannon to get chum blockers. But that was it. I beat him, and I went 3-1, or 3-1-0. Is that how you say it? 3 wins, 1 draw, 0 losses. And I ended up getting 2nd out of 28. So yeah, that's the deck profile. Make sure you check out my other videos. I opened my packs up. I posted that earlier today. So just let me know what you guys think of the deck. It will be changing, but that was my first time playing, and I had a lot of fun with it. Shout outs to Team Bad Cards for believing in me. Before the tournament, we went out to eat, and they didn't know I was going to play Sky that night. And they were like, Pat, Sky is a very skillful deck, and you can't just pick it up and play. It carried the hell out of me. And I'm glad that I chose Sky for that tournament, because I just wasn't comfortable with Orcust. UDS was very interesting. I just want to talk about this really quick before I go, because we looked up the top 4 decks briefly. So Pure Thunder won it all. Altergeist, piloted by D. Zeef, was 4th. A deck that I have and I can play, but for some reason it just was not good to me. I guess I just don't play it right. Also, Danger, PK, Orcust. No, he doesn't even play Dangers. It's just Dark Warrior Orcust with the Sold and stuff. It was very interesting. He got like 3rd or 2nd, and then a Sky Striker build. Obviously, no Demise or Mystic Mine in the main, so that was interesting. But it just goes to show you that this format is insane, and this deck is probably not the best like I thought it was, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But I'll see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe.